Good morning. Good morning. It's up your o'clock. Good morning, world. Welcome to Up You with EZINNE show, where we dive deep into topics that matter. Yes. By sharing inspiring stories of resilience and growth. How you all doing? It's a beautiful sunny morning after the rains of yesterday here in Lagos. And today we'll be joined by a very remarkable woman all the way from Akwa Ibom State. It's Up You with EZINNE, and I'm here to keep you company as usual. So let's do this, my beautiful people. Finding self, finding purpose. My name is EZINNE Kufrekanem, and I'm your host. As always, I'm thrilled to have you join us on today's episode. The topic is, what is that topic? Does anybody know? The topic is what? Thriving after survival of GBV. Yes. As always, you're welcome. You're welcome. As you come in, please settle down, get in your friends here, and let's do this. You know, let's have this conversation. Be kind to follow us on all our social media platforms at Up You with EZINNE on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. We'd love to connect with you and keep the conversation going long after this episode has ended. As you come in, please like the stream, share the stream. Is one way that you help do what? Our ministry. You help our ministry so that we can serve you better. Yes, come in. We're streaming live on YouTube at Up You with EZINNE, on Facebook at EZINNE Kufrekanem, on Instagram at Up You with EZINNE. May I remind you that all episodes of Up You with EZINNE are on our YouTube and podcast channels at Up You with EZINNE. Be sure to follow us and don't miss a thing. Well, it's time to bring up our guest into the studio. Our guest today is Emem Ette Esq. She is an accomplished alternative dispute resolution and social conflict management expert, having resolved over 1,000 cases, including disputes over communal land ownership, women's land rights, child custody, and widows' inheritance. She is a skilled social advocacy professional with a strong background in peace building, social coexistence, and gender advocacy. Emem served as chairperson of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, from 2018 to 2021, and has been actively involved in providing temporary shelter for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence for the past 15 years. Currently pursuing a PhD in women and children's protection, she focuses on ensuring easy access to justice for women and children. A director and head of the Akwa Ibom State Government Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Response Department, Ministry of Justice, UYO. Emem is also secretary of the state's Gender-Based Violence Management Committee. She holds leadership roles in various professional organizations, including the Nigerian Bar Association, where she has served in several capacities, and the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators. Emem Ette is a member of the African Women in Leadership Organization, where she serves as General Secretary and Legal Counsel. She is married to Honorable Justice Gabriel Ette. Dear everyone, world over, please join me to welcome a very special guest on the show today. Good morning, Barrister Emem. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here. Thank you so much for bringing me on this show. Thank you so much, Sister EZINNE. It's a pleasure to be here.
You sound like you're sitting right next to me, thanks to technology.
Yeah. It's a wonderful thing.
Yes, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
First of all, I'm going to throw a personal question to you. How is it living in a family of all lawyers?
We have a full court at home. We have the judge, we have the prosecuting counsel, we have the defense counsel and everything. It's a full court. So if you have any matter, you just bring it to my house and everything will be sorted out.
Do you know, when I
Yeah.
saw the latest one, when I saw the latest graduation, I said, oh my God, this is just a house filled with lawyers, learned
Lawyers,
gentlemen,
yes.
right?
And more coming. I have 2 more coming. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Okay, so
Thank you very much.
let's get on with today's show. Could you please share with
Yeah.
us, your perspective and understanding of today's topic?
Yeah. Gender-based violence is not just a topic. Is a lot of people's reality. Most of us, that's women, men, boys, girls, we go through some sort of gender-based violence, but we do not know what it is. It has become a part of us. The ones that our culture, has made a reality, the one that our religion has made a reality for us, the one that society has made realities for. Gender-based violence is now in the fabric of society, the fabric of our lives. And it will take all of us as a community to ensure that we differentiate and select those actions that are detrimental to us, and target gender-based violence as it should be: a crime, a morality problem, and also a cultural problem. So to me, sitting in my position in my office, I see real cases, live cases, so that the topic is not just a topic I discuss about. It is a topic I wake up to every morning. It's a topic I go to bed with, because every day I am responding to people who are passing through different, forms of gender-based violence. And today we are going to see how we can survive it. One, to survive it, I don't think someone who has experienced gender-based violence totally gets it out of his or her system. But today we are going to see how you can cope, how you can cope and how you can bring yourself above the effects that gender-based violence has impacted on the lives of those who have gone through one form or the other. Yes.
You just said something that you said a lot of things. Thank you very much. But there's one that just hit me. You said it is in the fabrics.
Yes.
It has now entered the fabric of our everyday life.
Right.
So it's not
Yes.
something we can wish away or pray away, And then
No.
you said it's something you wake up with and you go to bed with. So you are actively, you have your hands on the pulse of it. Amazing.
Yes.
And there was something else you said. You said we may not totally heal from it, but we can rise out of it and still go ahead to thrive. Very, very, very salient points made right there. If you're just joining us, this is up EZINNE, the show, and our topic today is from surviving to thriving, healing from gender violence. So, as you can see, our guest has set the stage by saying that it's possible to heal. It's also possible to go beyond the deficits that gender-based violence, leaves us with, and then we can also go ahead and strive. Welcome, welcome. Settle in, everybody. Please share the stream, like it, share it, so we can bring more women in here to learn. Statistics show us that 1 out of 3 women will experience or has experienced some form of gender-based violence. So this is something that touches every single one of us. We all know one woman, one sister, one child, one mother. So let's bring everybody in here to hear from the expert so that we can break down the myths and know what really is and what is not and how to go about it. Thank you very much. So to set the stage further, could you please share a bit about your background and how you first encountered GBV and decided to become a champion for this cause?
Okay, thank you. I think I started being someone who rises against injustice since when I was a child. Let me say I was born with it. You know, as a child, I never condoned injustice, and from my little background, I saw a lot of violence living in a yard in Port Harcourt, you know. So I grew up with that Voltron mentality. And so when I lost my husband in 2011, I became a widow at 38, and I came face to face with what could happen to women. Having lost, for in quote, your protection, your husband, a lot of people thought they could bully me because I didn't have a husband, I'm a woman, I'm this and that. I had to be strong for myself. And I said, if I, as educated as I am, a lawyer, you know, could face this kind of bullying, then what of the other ones that are not educated, do not have anybody to speak for them, those ones that are very vulnerable? So I think the Lord just said, it is time for you to enter purpose after I lost my husband. And so I looked for a platform. That is the International Federation of Women Lawyers. And it was from there I started speaking for women. It's from there I started litigating cases for them free of charge, and ensuring that women and children, especially those widows and the fatherless ones, have a voice. You know, I made sure I was available. I made sure the International Federation of Women Lawyers were available for women and children, especially, even if I dare to add that even some men, you know, used to come and say, look, something has happened to me. I will tell you, oh, well, you are a man. I am not yet led, you know, to appear for men. But then I think now I also do cases for men, because gender-based violence does not know gender. You know, it's not gender sensitive. It can happen to men. It can happen to women. We have men who have coconut head. We also have women who have coconut head. So now, since I am for everybody, whoever abuses the other, I stand for the victim or the survivor. So that was how I got into responding and offering services to people who suffer gender-based violence.
This is amazing. So from processing your pain, you found
Yeah,
purpose. This is
purpose,
amazing.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when things happen to us, we think that it has come to cripple us. But
Yeah.
yet we all want to wear diamonds. And we forget that
Mhm.
diamonds have to go through the pressure, you know. And it's after you go through that pressure that the diamond actually gets popped up. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's good that you shared this story with us, because sometimes I often ask myself, what drives a man? Let me fess up.
Yeah.
I'm actually more of you, because I mean, a few times I've sat with you to talk, and then you tell me about this work. I'm sure you saw the last time I was actually crying when you were talking, and I went home and I was saying, how does she do it? How does she keep
Mm.
going every day with everything that you know, with everything that you see? How doesn't your humanity or your humanness drain out of you? You know, so
Yeah.
it's good that this is a purpose thing. Well
Yeah.
done,
It's
ma'am.
purpose. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
So statistics, like I said earlier, please, if you're joining us, when you join, please like and share the stream. Like and share the stream. Let's get many women in here. I mean, like Emem said, if she could be bullied, if she could actually have some kind of gender abuse meted on her as a widow, as educated as she was, who you be now? So please, let's get women in here to hear this firsthand. Okay. Like I said earlier, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women encounter GBV all over the world. This is scary, because I think we make up like if I remember, we make up like the larger percentage of humans in the world. So,
Yes.
and 1 out of 3 of us is being abused in one way or the other.
Okay. Mm.
So, I don't know if you agree with these statistics, because it's the one that is
I,
coming from WHO.
no, I agree. I agree totally. I agree totally. There are homes, like yesterday, I had a case where the husband was bullying the wife, abusing the wife, and when the wife left, he started abusing the daughter. You know, so it is something that I think it is not just 1 in 3 women now. I think it is 2 in 3, because after COVID, we have experienced a surge in cases of gender-based violence, a surge in numbers, you know, and we are trying so much to see how we could bring down that number. But you know, when it involves GBV is having, like I said before, it has become a part of us, something that people make the victims to look as if you want to destroy your family, you want to destroy another person if you report gender-based violence. So the ones that are reported, the numbers that are reported are much, much lower than the ones that are not reported. The ones that are not, out of, let's say, 100 gender-based violence cases that are happening in, for example, in Uyo, 20 of it is the only one reported. 80 goes unreported. 80 goes unreported.
We even have underreporting.
Underreporting. Our cultural biases, our social biases, our religious biases, our family biases. Like yesterday, the story of the UNN lecturer was trending, and I was on Facebook, and people were saying, why did the woman report? Why did she not just say, you know, we are more centered on shaming the victims than the perpetrators. We are not survivor-centered in our approach from the community level, family level. We are not survivor-centered. We are more on, you know, against the victim, not shaming, not speaking, and all that. And that is why we keep having these numbers going up, because if I'll be shamed, why should I? Why should I speak against my family? Why should I speak against my husband? Why should I speak against my father? Why should I speak against a lecturer that says, unless you sleep with me, I won't give you marks? Why should society shut people like that up instead of encouraging people to speak up, so that the perpetrators will now know that if I do this thing, this is what will happen? We should not keep perpetrators at a place where they think maybe she will not report, maybe she will. We have to send a clear message to perpetrators that if you do this, this is what will happen. And that takes the effort of all of us, not just the government, not just law enforcement agencies, but individuals in society. The lecturers in UNN, the vice chancellor in UNN, the students in UNN, to all stand up and speak with one voice against what has happened. The mother in a home, the siblings in a home, the in-laws in a home, to speak against a father who is defiling the daughter. The school, the owner of the school, the principal of the school, the students, the teachers, to stand up and speak as one against another child bullying another child. We must all speak one language. If perpetrators will not stop if we don't speak one language, which is gender-based violence is wrong. That's it.
You know, you're absolutely right. And I like the term you've used. We have to become survivor-centric. We need to focus on the victim, not on preserving what is already bad. It's bad enough that a father can defile a child. It's bad enough that a lecturer will demand sex for marks. You know, so we must not protect such people. Thank you very much. In Lagos State, there's a slogan that says zero tolerance for SGBV. And Lagos State is going all out to ensure, in fact, they have another one that says not on my watch.
Not in my Lagos.
Exactly.
Not in my Lagos.
So you see, I said, okay, let's throw it home. Let's go to Akwa Ibom State. You see, everybody, no apologies. I am Akwa Ibom. So, I mean, we said, let's take it home. Let's go to Akwa Ibom State. So what is the government doing about, what's our slogan? What's our goal? What's our objective, you know, for combating sexual and gender-based violence? Because in Akwa Ibom State, the news that we hear, it's not looking good.
It's not. You know, Akwa Ibom is a traditional patriarchal society.
Say that again.
We are deeply entrenched in patriarchy, and our culture, if not that we have strong head, women are supposed to be seen, not heard.
Seen.
And that culture,
Well decorated.
yeah, and that culture is is the underlying, factor that is causing, GBV to thrive, sort of, in Akwa Ibom State. And the government is not relenting in its effort to, eliminate to the barest minimum cases of gender-based violence in the state. Before now, we used to have different agencies and ministries responding to issues of gender-based violence. But recently, the Akwa Ibom State government inaugurated a gender-based violence management committee, which I am secretary, and that committee consists of members from different ministries, line ministries, like the Ministry of Justice, like the Ministry of Women Affairs, like the Ministry of Health, Information, and the Law Enforcement, Civil Society, and the Traditional Rulers Council, and all that they come together as one, to respond holistically to issues of gender-based violence. And then the state government established the sexual and gender-based violence response department in the Ministry of Justice, because gender-based violence is a crime. And the only office that this constitution recognizes that can institute, discontinue, or take over cases of crime is the office of the Honorable Attorney General. And so the state government ensured that our VAP law had the office of the Attorney General as the implementing office. So we have the SGBV department in the Ministry of Justice, and we are the ones who, carry out the day-to-day response to issues of gender-based violence and the decisions of the Akwa Ibom State Gender-Based Violence Management Committee. So we've done a lot. The states have done a lot. We have a shelter strictly for victims and survivors of gender-based violence. That shelter is the biggest in Nigeria. It's state-owned and world class, because apart from having the 66-bed shelter, it has a skill acquisition center right inside the compound, and also other facilities that the survivors or victims can use and thrive while they are getting over the trauma of whatever form of GBV they went through. And then the Akwa Ibom State government has established sexual assault referral centers, where free medical services are offered to victims of gender-based violence. And we did not just, set up those SAC centers, we backed it up with a law. So there is a law on all hospitals giving, at mostly government hospitals, to give free medical treatment to all victims of SGBV in the state. We have done a unified referral pathway for the state, and we have even curated a training manual on gender-based violence so that we go to school, we distribute to schools, so that it will be part of their curriculum. At least I think every Friday they have to teach the students something from that training manual. And then we've started establishing clubs, GBV clubs in schools. We are working in partnership with Project Alert and other, civil societies that are responding to gender-based violence, to see that we have GBV clubs in school. And now we are even looking at primary schools, because in the past 2 weeks, I've had cases of 6-year-olds abusing another 6-year-old. So we included, we had to map primary schools too. And no matter what we do, without this community helping us, it won't work. Government effort will not work in this instance. Example, that little boy, the 6-year-old that was abusing another child. The mother I had to send for the mother and say, look, your child is not even up to the criminal responsibility age. I say, okay, the law will take its course. We need to find out what happened to this child, and see how we can completely reorientate his mind to change him from what is, because this little child even masturbates. You will not believe that a 6-year-old can masturbate. The mother confirmed that.
It's what he sees.
Yes.
I
Yes,
recall sometime last year when we were having discussions around this topic as well. Um, it was brought to my knowledge that even the a kind of accommodation that people have
yeah,
also help. If you live in a one-room apartment
yes,
and you're with your wife, your children are looking, they're seeing. You might think they're
yes,
sleeping, but you're
yes.
exposing them to thing. And children are usually monkey see, monkey do.
Yes,
You know.
that's true. And that is what happened in this instance because we were able to trace that they are living in a one-room apartment. I said, look,
Oh,
that is where the problem is. Nobody's abusing your child outside. You are the ones who have exposed this child to this. And now he's not just abusing himself, he's abusing other children. I had a case
yeah.
where one of them had to insect a stick, into the private of another child, and I think her uterus was perforated. So these children see these things and don't just harm themselves; they go ahead to harm other children. They become a danger to other children in the society. So it is something that everyone. It is not a government work. Everyone must sit up and do something to prevent these things from happening.
Okay. Thank you very much. I want to take you back a bit to
Mm.
one story that trended on social media about a man that was abusing his wife, and then she did some report, and then they locked up the man, and then when the man was now um, sued or told.
Granted bail.
Yes, she now resigned all of that and said she was no longer
Mm.
doing that. She had now forgiven her husband and that the people have spoken to her and everything. How can we move forward like this? We all saw the abuse, the whole world saw it. And then she says, oh no, he's no longer abusing me.
You know, that case is a tester of the will of the government to deal with issues in GBV, and the
Exactly.
government is going ahead to prosecute that case because the evidence, I mean, is before everybody. And if government does not take up that case and allow the court to decide whether the man is guilty or not, we are going to set a dangerous precedent where people will think they can do anything and get away with it. It will be a dangerous precedent, and that is why the Honorable Attorney General has refused to withdraw that case and is continuing with its prosecution. It is not in our place to
I'm
decide
glad to hear.
who is guilty or not. It is in the place of the
Let the court, yes,
court
let it
to
take the due
decide.
process.
Yes, it is the duty of the court. So the woman will go to court and tell her story to the court. And then she will be, if she says she wasn't abused, she will now answer to questions in respect of the videos that were trending. This is
Exactly.
the public interest case. This case is very dear to us because it is a test, of our will to deal with issues of gender-based violence. If we don't do it right, then we have failed. We have failed society. We have failed our children. We have failed our women. We have failed those ones that are trying to speak. And then when they see this, they will know there is no need to speak if government cannot come. Justice is a three-way traffic. Justice to the victim, justice to the suspect, and justice to society. So it is not
True.
just about the victim. It is about the effect of that abuse on the society. Because there is a woman that the husband will beat because government did not take any action with the other man. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't allow that to happen. So we have to look at, putting these things side by side and look at which side is heavier. If society will suffer for the act of an individual, and then we have to go ahead for public interest. That's why we have cases we call for public interest. So that is
Mm-hmm.
how that case is. The Attorney General has zero tolerance to withdrawal of cases, especially when it comes to abuse, rape, and all that, especially rape of minors too. We do not accept withdrawals. And at the last time we had our NPA meeting, we gave everybody notice that no lawyer should write to the office of the Attorney General to withdraw any case of rape, especially when it involves a minor. We will not withdraw. And in the cases of this type that went viral, we owe our society, the duty to show the world that our government is able to protect citizens. That is it. And
Thank
you know
you
that
very,
every
very.
citizen is a government speaking. That is why if
Of course.
a father kills a child, they will not say it's because of your child, you will not answer for it. The father will go in for it, because that is when the father
Yeah.
will know that this child did not belong to him, it belongs to government. So when it comes
Government,
like that,
yes.
government has to show its will. Yes.
Thank you very, very much. Now let's bring it home a bit. I know you run a shelter, and you mentioned about the world-class shelter that the Akwa Ibom state government
Yes.
has also built uh, for some of these GBV survivors. Please, can you share with us, some of the biggest challenges that these survivors face during healing process, and how they can begin to overcome them? Because sometimes we on the peripheral and we on the outside completely will just be saying, what is it now?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
your husband,
Mm-hmm.
you, what
Yeah.
is it? So
Yeah.
you were,
Yeah.
are you the best? So please, can
Yeah.
you, having had experience
Yeah.
with these people, can you drive
Yeah.
so that our human milk and our empathy can rise up? Because you also mentioned that you need the community on this.
Yeah. For example, let's take a woman that has been battered or abused by the husband. She is not just about her, but it starts with her. Especially if she has children, she's in church, she comes from a community and all that. So what I do in my office, when you first come to my office, I have a very beautiful mirror. So I will tell the survivor, please walk to that mirror and look at yourself. Really
Mm.
look, because a lot of women who are passing through abuse rarely look at themselves. They can do makeup, but they don't look into themselves to know who they are and why they should allow another human to make them feel less of themselves. So the first thing we do is to make women find themselves, to know that they are worth every good thing, and that whatever is happening to them is not their fault. It is not their fault that their husbands don't find them worthy. It is not their fault that their husband will find another woman outside, because mostly that is the problem. It is not their fault that their husband might not feel in love with them. Not their fault. The fault is with the person who feels you married someone into your house and then you don't feel so good about that person. It is not the fault of the woman. And a woman who understands her self-worth and gets her self-esteem and knows her value will set boundaries. It doesn't have to speak. Your conduct, the way you carry yourself, will set boundaries that even your husband will not cross. Because he will know, I can't cross this boundary. And it is only a woman with self-worth and value that can do that. So most of the people who come into our shelter, the first thing I want to do, and the other people who are working in our shelter, is to make them realize their self-worth, their self-value.
Mm.
You will sit down and see a woman that came to you dejected. By the time you start saying words of affirmation, talking to them, making them find themselves, you see them sitting up. Sitting up, you give them a little backbone, not finding faults, not saying, what did you do? Maybe it's because of this, because society has a way of turning things around to go and be the fault of the victim. We should stop looking for fault and deal with the person, ask the person, let the person find herself. Most times what I do, I tell women, because some of them will come and say, look, I just want you to come, I just want you to talk to my husband, let him sign undertaking. I told them, look, undertaking cannot stop a man from abusing you. Not all men. Some, it might stop, but not all men. And I look at your background, I look at the kind of abuse a woman has gone through before you come to me. And there are some I will tell them, undertaking will not work. In fact, there's a case we had that the man was abusing the girl in Eket, and she came and told, I said, okay, leave Eket and come to you. She left Eket, came to you. The man came to this town, stalked her and killed her.
Oh my
And killed her. So women naturally cling to what they know. They cling to comfort. They cling to, I don't want to be alone. And then they allow themselves, their self-worth, their worth to be hanged or hinged on the what or value the other person is giving you. When there is no longer value, you have to leave that place. Because like the case I had yesterday, the woman was completely battered with stitching all over her body. 26 years of marriage. 26 years, and your husband of 26 that you have children, 5 children for 25 years, 24 years, grown-up children, will beat you, and you have stitches everywhere, under her bust, her back, everywhere, bruises everywhere. And you come here and say, you want him to come and sign undertaking. Undertaking to do what? After 26 years. Even if you have money to get 1 room, I told her, even if you don't have, I will add money for you. Get 1 room. 1 room. Just stay on your own. It is better for you to stay one place and you are able to sleep and know that nothing will happen to you than to sleep with your one eye closed. If you see her completely looking wretched, sad, dejected, no self-worth, you know. So as a community, when we see women like that, we shouldn't be fast. Oh, leave your husband's house. No. She has to consider a lot of things. She has to consider her children asking her, where is daddy? Where is daddy? Or where is daddy not here? You know, she has to contend with all that. And that is why we allow the woman to take that decision on her own. A woman must get to that point where she says, I don't want this. I think I am better without this. If she doesn't come to that position, there's nobody that can help her. She's the only one that can help herself at that point. And I always tell women, when you get there, you will leave. When you get there, you will take action. There are women that they don't even have to leave, but they can be in that marriage and take action. They can be there. And their attitude and the way they respond to their abusers will change. Because the way you respond to your abuser is very important. By the time you make an abuser know that he can abuse you and get away with it, he will keep abusing you. But when you make a statement and respond in a way that he knows that no more abuse, he will stop. So we shouldn't be predictable for someone that is abusing us to know that if he pinches us here, we will say A. If he pinches us here, we will say B. Let us change the way we respond to abusers. Let women, if you want to stay in a marriage, change the way you respond to the person. If not, it will be a circle. You keep going around, and God forbid, you lose your life.
Indeed, God forbid. You know, as we were talking, it was just occurring to me that when we talk about GBV or SGBV, we think about rape, forceful entry, we think about beating, battery, and assault, but there are other forms of gender abuse. You know, because I'm thinking through your story. Before a woman will get to the point where she's so docile that you beat on her day in, day out, the emotional abuse must have been very, very high. The conditioning, you know, and everything, the verbal abuse, you would have reduced her by the things you say and the images you paint. And she's bought it, which is why it's good that you have that mirror. She's bought it and she's believed it.
Yeah.
And thrown away her self-worth and value for her life to remain, you know. So I ask you, where do you see the role of the church and the role of the society that says that if a woman is not married, she doesn't have what? She has no obongo, you know. And how? I mean, come on. Women are, why? I'm even speechless.
What we say, what I say to, you know, I have a lot of young girls who volunteer with me. You don't allow society to place any tag on you. Society should not place any tag on you. You call yourself what you want to call yourself. Whether you are married or whether you are married, call yourself what you want to be. Society cannot put a tag. Somebody like me, society cannot put a tag on me. Society has nothing on me. You know? So the People saying, I hear a lot of people talk on Facebook that marriage is an achievement. I've been married twice. It's a beautiful statement, but it is not something you use to shame people. You don't use marriage to shame people that if you are not married, you are this, you are not complete. Whether I marry or not, I'm a complete being. I know I was single for 9 years, and at 45, with 6 children, I married. Why did I marry? Because I have value. So any woman that has value, if you don't have value, make sure you have value. People, if you are meant to marry, people will look for you and marry. Don't devalue yourself and don't settle for less. Don't bring down your value. Don't bring down yourself to settle for anything so that society will not laugh at you. Society will not be there when you die. They are just going to bury just you in that grave. Nobody is coming with you. You are not even going with the noise because they will put 6 feet and pour a lot of sand on you so that you will not even hear what is going on in this side. So if someone can lie lifeless and they can place the person anywhere, why should I allow society to define who I am? So women must understand their value and also be careful of what they consent to. Because when you give your consent to people to say whatever they like or do whatever you like to you will agree to anything. You will allow people to get under your skin and make you agree to do or behave however society wants you to behave, so that they will clap for you. When it comes to social media, you know how social media works. You do something today, they will clap for you. Oh, do something tomorrow. It's the same social media that will drag the hell out of you. So that is a lesson. You cannot please everybody, but you must please yourself first, and you are accountable to the one who has the ability to take your life. So to me, I am accountable to God, and whatever I do is conditioned around that accountability. So you are accountable to God and to yourself. Have be able to tell yourself the truth. If you lie to yourself, you are gone. If you lie to yourself, you are gone. You want to be what you are not, so that society will see that you are doing well. You do what you know that you should not do, or you change the person. Like there was a time I was telling God, oh, why is it that when somebody wrongs me, I'm the one crying, I'm the one looking for? He said, I made you a nurturer. God makes us different things, and if we want to change what God made us to be what He did not make us, we are going to have a lot of issues. And that comes to our being women. We have a lot of value as a woman, and we must recognize that value that we have. So whether we are alone, whether we are single, whether we are married, we should never allow the value that we have for ourselves first and others to ever, get out of our sight. Because, when we enter plane, they will say, before you put face mask, put on yourself first. It's very important. It's very, very important. Yourself first. It's not being selfish. It's not being selfish, because at the end of the day, you are the one to answer for yourself. So that is how it is. So society should not define any woman, should not define any girl. You should not allow society to put any pressure on you. No pressure. You walk at your pace. You walk within your means. My late husband used to say, I hang my clothes where I can unhang it. Hang your clothes where you can unhang it, so that you will not leave what you are to become what you are not.
Thank you very much. That was so passionately said. I'm very brilliant. Know yourself is not a what? It's not a course. In fact, it is all that your life should be about. Know yourself, because it's you know yourself that you will determine what you can take and what you cannot take. And as much as people refuse to be tagged by the society, and then do not allow the society call you what and who you are not.
Yeah.
Ah, intense masterclass right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have a question, and the question says, is there life after abuse?
Uh,
Can a
good
survivor
life.
heal from the trauma
There's good
and
life
go on
after abuse.
life again? I think this person has experienced some, and so the person is asking, is there life? Barrister men, please tell me, is there life after
Please,
abuse?
there is there is good life after abuse. Good life. Because when once you realize your worth, you'll be able to live. I had a case where a young woman was being abused by the husband, terribly abused for a long time. She has two lovely children for him, and they had to separate. Now she's a millionaire. If you notice, you see that
Woo!
women who are abused and decide to leave, most of them thrive. And you can only thrive when you come to the realization of yourself, just like I just said before, know yourself. When once you know yourself and you add value to yourself and you are able to set your priorities, you will thrive. One, you are not in the environment where you are abused again. You are not there. And two, you know that you are more focused. You now know the things you want. In fact, I tell them, look, when once you leave an abusive relationship, don't go into any relationship for a while. Get yourself, live your life. Your priority now is to add value to yourself. If you were not working, if you did not go to school, go to school. If you know no book, go and look for a skill. Don't look for something that can bring you money. Money, what do they used to say? Money stops
Yes, I know.
nonsense.
No, stop nonsense, man.
Money stops nonsense.
Yes, so
I tell them, women who, decide to leave, I say, look, go and work. Go and, even if it is to hawk, to do chin chin, to sell songs, do something to get money. Getting your own money will strengthen your mind against going back to the place of abuse. Because if you leave and you don't do anything to sustain yourself, you will go back when the man comes. Because you don't have anything. You will go back. But when you have a little money, you'll be able to stand and you will not go back to the place of abuse, and you keep building until if that man sees you and he does not turn his head to look at you, his neck is paining him. His neck is paining him. So if you did not go to school, go to school. If you've gone to school, you are working, look for an extra income. But most of all, if you are already gone, because we have very educated, moneyed people going through abuse. It's not just for those that are not educated. It's not just for those who are who don't have. Even amongst our elite and our rich people, abuse is going on there. If you remember when we went to, there's a place we went for Aulo, and one of the women there broke out. She had a bandage and said, "My husband did this to me. My husband did
exactly.
this to me."
Yes, I
If you can
remember that
bring back,
comment.
so you see, it is everywhere. Gender-based violence is not just for the poor. It's not just for the middle men. It's not just for the rich. It's for everybody. And the only way we can sustain and thrive is to know our worth and to try to be better than the person. That if a man thinks you are a non-entity and you leave him and remain a non-entity, he has won. Your abuser thinks you are a non-entity and you go out and remain a non-entity, he has won. And you are not going to become something just because he said you are a non-entity. You have to prove to yourself that you are not a non-entity. Not for him, but for yourself. And then you see how
Yes.
you try. I have so many young women. I have so many women who decided to leave that are thriving. I have a lot of success stories. A lot of success stories. There are some that are not rich, but some will come and say, Barrister Emem, I can sleep with my two eyes closed. Barrister Emem, even if I am sipping Gary, I can sleep with my two eyes closed. Nobody's barging in on me. My children are not, anxious. My children are not fearful. They will lie down. That alone is something. That alone is something, So that's how it is. So there's actually life, but you will choose to live. You choose to live first. Nobody will make you live. It is you who decide to live. It is you who decide to make your life better. It is you who decide to prove to yourself that you are worth more than you were treated.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I hope the person on the line is now convinced that there is life after abuse and you can go on and heal and make good. It's all about your mindset, really.
Yeah,
When you come out, you need to do what? Reconfigure your mindset and put it
yeah,
on the growth mode and then go ahead to grow. I like what you said. If somebody says you're an identity and you leave the person and you don't amount to anything, then you prove the
mm-hmm.
person. So, women, the greatest weapon that we have is doing what? Polishing ourselves from the
Yeah,
inside to now shine on the outside. This question they always
definitely.
ask, what do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones who can put pay to that nonsense by ensuring that we don't go into relationships on a survival instinct. I mean, there's somebody saying
Yeah,
here that there's also the greed part. Some abused women don't leave because of the comfort they've gotten used to.
yeah,
So we need to ensure that we are not binding ourselves with people who are unworthy of us just because of survival mode, just
instinct.
because
Yeah,
of the little. Because I still say there's nothing anybody provides that is enough for you to batter me, for instance.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it will always be little. Just because of the little you provide, then you beat up someone's
mm-hmm.
child and you kill someone's child, and then what happens to you? Sometimes it takes a long time for the Lord to catch up with you. Meanwhile, somebody is dead and gone.
Mm-hmm. Or at all, or the Lord or
Oh,
not, because they will
people
come.
actually,
They
some
will
people
come.
just get away with it and then go ahead and marry another person and then
Yeah,
repeat the
yeah.
same cycle. It's
Mm-hmm.
scary.
Mm-hmm. No, there's
That's
a case we had that the husband killed the wife, and the community, everybody came. Oh, they have very young children. If your wife is dead, if you now put the husband in prison, who is going to take care of the children? And then they will come, and then they will that was in worry. And the man is working free, a lawyer, is working free, but the wife is dead.
do you
The wife is dead.
understand?
So our
So I don't know
justice.
how all my
So you choose to live. What I tell women is just hold out your hand as if it's an imaginary scale. Put your life
Mhm.
on one side and this marriage and this comfort that you have on this other side. Wait, which one is heavier? If your life is heavier, leave. Because in Akwa Ibom, there is a proverb we have that when there is life, the deck will wear beats. When there is life. So if you weigh and your marriage and your comfort is heavier than your life, then stay. And then if you come to us, we are going to tell you how to manage that relationship, but with no guarantee that you will leave it alive. No guarantee. Because you can never, no matter how brilliant you are, predict how another person will behave. You can never. Even the devil does not know our thoughts. The devil, if the devil knew our thoughts, he will be able to control us now. So you cannot say, oh, okay, because of this, the man will do this. You think he will do this, he will do something else. And that is why we say, wait, whichever one is heavier for you, whichever one is more valuable for you, take your decision. But we are here in my department to support whichever decision you take. We'll support you and help you as much as you can. And that is what our community and society should do. People that are, responding to issues of gender-based violence, allow these people to take their own decision, and as much as possible, support them without judging, or finding fault with whatever decision they have taken. Because at the end of the day, it is still their life.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is still their life and they take the decisions. We pray that everybody gets wise and begins to value their lives above every other thing. Okay. So there is this saying that the women are the ones who help perpetrate patriarchy, because if we all rose up as one, patriarchy will die one day, you know. So I'm asking you now, how can we again, the women and also the community at large, help to prevent the rise of SGBV, starting from our homes? Are there ways that we can help government so that you can be more effective in curbing and ridding our society of this menace? I know that women will not report their husbands when they violate their children. But then I ask again, what sort of a mother are you for you to birth a child and watch the man you married violate your child? Generational curse now. It's happening to you. You want it to happen to your child again now. Who is to us? When are we going to get sense? Anyway, before I run off with my emotions here, how can we help you?
Well, sorry, 1 minute, let me fix something here. All right. So, our mothers, the generation of our mothers, were raised within this very tight patriarchal circle. And our generation, having known our worth, we are raising the next generation of women who will not support patriarchy. I go to Facebook and I see young women speak, and I'm very happy. I am so happy that we now have women who are enlightened and understand the dangers and ills in patriarchy. And we are slowly bringing it down. And then we are also raising a generation of young men who are also against patriarchy. I have 3 sons, biological, and I have other sons that I am raising to see patriarchy as evil. Evil. So it is the place of everybody to intentionally break down the walls of patriarchy in our society. Intentionally break down those walls. We in fact, in Akwa, we have what we call the male advocates on GBV. Men who are proven, he for she's, who go to when they go for football, when they sit down to drink, when they go out with other men, they speak and talk against those things that men do and think is normal. We have to get men on board. In Akwa, we have gotten men on board. And the first, I think, this year we had the He for a 1 million man march against gender-based violence in Akwa, when men from all over Nigeria came to march in Akwa. So we want to put things in the faces of those men who think patriarchy is king. We have to pull down the walls to say it is not all right. This is not okay. Doing this is not okay. And then we teach the next generation of young men and young women to not settle for those values that are inimical to the progress of everybody. The other day I was at the burial, and the son was telling everybody that when the father was sick, he did not have time to go see the father, but the sister was the one that cared for the father for over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Cared for the father, a girl child that was not even allowed to, to go to school. She's the one who cared for. And then we can't keep keeping women as second class. So you start with your children. I have a father who told the son that is younger to his daughter, you have to respect your brother because he's a boy. And I told the man, no, sir. No, sir. Respect, according to one woman, respect is a reciprocal.
Reciprocal, yes, she's correct.
So it's not something. You can't tell a second born to disrespect a firstborn because she's a girl. It starts like that. It starts like that. We have to make him understand you are second born, you have to give respect to your sister, and your sister will also respect you as a human being, not because you are a man, not because you are a woman. That is the only way we can break patriarchy. Let us respect ourselves as humans that have the same blood running through our veins. That if you cut me, the same way it's going to pain you is going to pain me as a human being. Until we dissolve that male, female, man, woman, we will keep having the issues we are having. Let people respect people because that person is a human being that has fundamental rights that are intrinsic, given to us just because we are humans. That is the only solution to this. Let us not look and say, oh, it's because she's a woman. You drive on the road. Who is driving? Oh, it's a woman. Oh, but you don't know that we have worse drivers that are men. So if you see a male driver that is driving nonsense, you say, oh, it's because he's a man. You know, these are the kind of things we have to intentionally break down and tell everybody, I'm a human being first before I'm a woman. I'm human. See me as a woman. And that's why we have sex for grades in universities. When lecturers see their students as humans, as students, not as a female or male. That is just the solution to all this.
Again, it boils down
I think there's a slogan that women used to say, women's rights are human rights. I think we should bring another slogan, women are human beings too. Because it appears as if they don't take us as humans.
You're right. Women are human. First and foremost. Yes, we are going to promote that slang and then go with it. We too are human.
Humans.
Well, it's been a very, 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 very intense. I'm sweating here, thinking about all these things that we're talking about. Yubi Ekong on the stream says emotional and verbal assault are as bad as being beaten physically, but some women feel until they are physically abused, they'll keep staying and managing things. Do you agree with that? That women feel they can
yes, women think they can put up. Yeah, women think they can put up with men, or men too think they can put up with women verbally abusing them, emotionally. We have a lot of that happening to men. Emotional abuse, verbal abuse. More men suffer verbal abuse.
Know how to. We know how to use our mouth well.
Yes, we know how to use our mouth well.
Okay, so let's even talk about the men a bit, because the men will not go and report that their wife are abusing them at home, because it will mean that they're not men.
That's the problem. So
we women get away with abusing our husbands any which way we like.
Yes.
So please, will you speak to it, and so you can tell the women they should stop? We should stop.
I have cases of men coming to report their wives to me, and I'll say, okay, let me do a petition, let your wife be picked up. I say, no, don't arrest my wife. And I'm like, you see, until you learn to speak up, because these things will keep, you keep building resentments, you keep building ill feelings and all that. And then one day it will climax to something and result in something you never expected. And so if you don't want your wife to be arrested, you can bring her for us to do counseling, because we have other services apart from prosecuting and all that. We also offer mediation services where we can mediate, and then we can help you, through your relationship. If it is once a week, you want to meet us once a month, we just help you through. Or sometimes we act as a buffer between a husband and a wife. Whatever you want to say to me. If you are angry, talk to me first. Let me tell you how to rephrase, and then I'm able to reach out. And then we are helping a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages like that. So verbal and emotional abuse are things, are offenses we can manage through other dispute resolution mechanisms than arresting and prosecuting, except where the victim insists unprosecuted, and then we can go ahead and prosecute. But most times, why it is not, the numbers are not out there, is because we handle it through other dispute resolution mechanisms. That is it.
Interesting. Quick
Yes.
observation here from me. The fact is that when you abuse a man, he doesn't even do what you want him to do. So the more you're abusing him, the more he
Funny,
shrinks in.
ba?
Yes, he shrinks in and then decides to just stay there. And it's the same thing. The more you beat a woman, you don't get her to do what you want. So that brings
Yes.
us alternate dispute resolution
Yes.
strategies.
Yeah.
Communication is something that helps a lot because
Yeah.
everybody has a reason for what they are doing. So it's good that you mentioned ADR, and I see that you have settled more than 1,000 cases of all
Yeah.
sorts.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So,
Thank
women,
you.
this is us saying to you on this show, you know what? All of this can stop. You can decide to focus and go through the ADR route, catch
Yeah.
it early before it becomes a cancer in your relationship
Mm-hmm.
or in your
Mm-hmm.
or something. And also communication. Don't hide anything. See, if it pains you, talk about it. The earlier you
That's
find
it.
a solution to it, the better for you. The truth is, if you're happy, you make your marriage will be good. But if you're
Yeah.
unhappy, if you like, stay in that marriage for 20 years. It will not show anything, it won't thrive.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
we want to move beyond being happy, to thriving, to really enjoy being married. Marriage is for companionship. It's for you to have the double power of two and more. And a marriage should make a woman thrive, and a man
Yeah.
too. There's somebody that you are doing something with, you do it better. But not that you get into a marriage and then you're diminishing instead of it to
Mm-hmm.
establish.
Yeah.
You know that
Establish.
one now, yeah.
Establish.
Esther had no money and then later Esther established. Instead of it to
Establish.
establish your
That's how it
marriage,
should be. It should
we're
be
not looking for you. We're not telling you that the when you had no money, when you had no spouse was even better for you. Instead,
better.
we should try and establish you.
Yes. Yes. That's true.
Okay. This is very interesting. So for that woman, for that someone, for that man, for that child currently facing gender-based violence, what advice would you give them to begin their journey towards healing?
I'll say you are not alone. You are worth more than what you are going through. It is not your fault that whatever is going on, and that you can do better. You can be better. You can have better. You have people wherever you are, look for every state should have a safe place where people can just go and talk. In Akwa Ibom State, we have the Ministry of Justice, we have the Ministry of Women Affairs, we have the Gender-Based Violence Management Committee. You can come to us and talk to us. Whatever you want, we are going to do exactly that if it is not against public interest. Please, that is very important. If it is not against public interest, we are going to wait and we are going to tell you the truth. We will not hide anything from you. We promise you the truth. We promise you safety. We promise you a place you can talk, and then a shoulder that will really listen. And then we assure you that whatever you don't want out there will not be out there, because we keep your confidence and we will not betray you. You can trust us. So please look for someone you can trust and talk to them, or you can call Sister EZINNE. They can, wherever you are in the country, you can talk to me. I've been in this for a long time. Like I said earlier when we started, this is not work for me. This is purpose. And as much as the Lord will help me, we'll be able to talk, and then we can get solutions. So be strong. You are powerful. I'm not just saying it as words of affirmation. I'm saying it from my heart. All of us are powerful. And we can only come to that power when we realize that we have that power. You are powerful. Look for your power. Get it, ignite it, and be all that you were meant to be. Thank you.
This is so nuggetful that I don't even know which one I'm going to take. You are powerful, but you can only come to that power. You can only come to the knowledge and application of that power when you realize it. So it's possible that you can have power and just be walking around as if you're powerless.
Yeah.
You have did this one. This is not done it. You have did it because even me, that sank in. You
Yeah.
are. So every woman here today, that's Emem's word for you. Whether you're going through or not, every woman, you are powerful. And the earlier we start to look for this as superpower, the better for all of us. So just before you go again, what do you have to say to the advocates and professionals working in the field of gender-based violence? What advice will you give to
Then
them based on your experience?
I'll just tell us, all of us, be strong. I know that there are times you break down. There are times you can't take it all in again. But our strength comes from the Lord. We are doing the Lord's work. And so draw your strength from God and let's keep forging on because this battle will definitely win it one day at a time. Keep winning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your counterpart in Lagos said last year at the Up You Women conference, he says, sometimes I think I've seen it all, and then another one happens.
And then another one
So
comes.
exactly. So therefore, I guess we can never see it all, but we just have to
All
keep
right.
renewing our strength every
Yeah.
time, and then as we intensify, the crucial thing for every one of us, all of us on this stream, the crucial thing is for us to get knowledge, get learning, get understanding, and be able to teach it to the next woman. If we all get adequate knowledge on what GBV is and what SGBV is and what should happen and what should not happen, the legal frameworks protecting us, and how we should also behave ourselves so that we don't get these things meted on us, it will go a long way to curbing this. That way, you know that when you are running your mouth with your husband, that you might anger him. So you pipe down and not run your mouth. You go and find me, or you find or you find any other person in that space and talk to them. And then you calm down and then come back and talk. Even on Saturday, I was on a TV show. And when I was talking about women and multitasking. And I was saying, after I finish all my multitasking, I come to work and I still output the same quality and sometimes even more than the man, but yet the man gets paid more than me. And I was saying, no, that's nice. I would advocate for equal pay for everybody. And the man on the show said, the problem is the way you people are asking it.
Mm.
It is
Mm-hmm.
not that they don't understand that we should ask it. It is the way we're asking it. So, my dear fellow sisters, my dear fellow women, sometimes let us stoop and conquer. And then when we
Mm-hmm.
stoop, conquer, we reorientate and everything. When you get your man, your husband, your brother, your son to understand from a place of understanding, they know better. And from knowing better, they will act better. We're looking forward to a world where we will have less and less. Our statistics will get higher and higher. Um, better and better. What I mean by higher and higher, we're dealing with 2 out of 3 now. We're hoping that we will see 1 in 100 or 1 in 500 or 1 in 1,000, you know. And I believe that that is what you're working towards. And all of this that you have given will now pay off. I must thank you so very much, Barrister Mem. Thank you for all the years into this. Thank you for all the sleepless nights. Thank you for your personal resources. Thank you for everything that you're doing, because a look at your life just shows that this is it. You have actually proposed and you're working this. And somebody even said here, somebody said, yes, that's my dear sister doing what she was born to do. So we all acknowledge this. We see you. We thank you. We pray for more strength for you. Thank you for coming on the show today and for enlightening
Thank
us.
you.
One
Thank
thing
you.
I'm taking away from here is the fact that it is possible for a victim to heal. It might take time. Healing has different phases and faces for each and every one. But has told us today, and I believe her absolutely, that it's possible to heal. And beyond healing, it's possible for you to live again. If you're on this stream and you are a GBV survivor, that's the message to you. You can heal. Start by forgiving yourself, then forgive your assailant, and then grab on the hope that has been given to you today. You can live again and you can strive again. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. This is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with EZINNE. It's been another insightful and amazing one. Please follow us on all our social media platforms at Up You with EZINNE and put on your notifications. Get copies of our books. And don't forget to be a part of our amazing growing community. Let's continue these conversations offline. Yes,
Thank you.
the people on the confirming that it was enlightening. Thank you. Big up to
Thank
everyone
you.
that is involved in this magic every week, starting with you, our dear listeners. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our guests and the amazing Up You team. Till I come your way next week, keep looking up. Bye bye for now. My name is EZINNE Kufrekanem and is Up You. Barrister Emem, do Up You.
Up you. Up you. Up you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.